Hey guys, I recently attended a data science interview with Google Bangalore, and I wanted to share my experiences and what are the questions asked and how can we actually prepare and what went wrong with my interview. Keep watching. So guys, the opening was this one, what you can see in the screen. It was a machine learning engineer opening for Bangalore, and the recruiters are basically from Singapore. So all the coordination that happened for this opening was from Singapore. Question number one, how can we get an interview call from Google? Yeah, the simple answer is ask any friends of yours or ask some employees who work in Google to refer you. Yes, referral is the only effective way by which you can get an interview call from Google, and this works in almost all the top companies, maybe Amazon or Microsoft. Referral can definitely get you an interview call. The referral process in Google is a little bit different than other companies. Now what happens in normal companies is like there is one job opening, a person refers to you a specific job and you get an email telling like you fill this form, etc. But what happens in Google is when someone refers you, you get an email like this, whatever you see in the screen, and this email will be valid for next 30 days, and we can use the same link for next 30 days and apply for multiple jobs. So this doesn't need someone to refer you again and again if you see some relevant openings in job portals. Another important thing you guys want to note is like so imagine your friend referred to a job in Google. You will definitely get a response within 7 working days. If at all you don't get a response within 7 working days, it's probably that this time your job description versus the resume is not in sync and you might not be selected for this role. So my friend referred me on Thursday, and I got a call from the recruiter on Monday asking for my feasible time to get started with the interview process. Now Google has a unique way of screening into any candidate in the first round. That is like Google will send you one online link where you have to log in and check out and answer a few questions where some tricky programming languages will be given to you, and questions like what will be the output, will this code execute, can this code be improved, will be asked to you. So HR told me these stuffs, and she told I can expect an email from her in 2 days. Okay, so let's begin with round one. The HR had sent me an email link which I have to log in and complete at one go. Like everyone who probably will have a same first round when whoever are trying for Google, and the link will be valid for probably few days. But once you log in, you can spend any hour of time on the link, but you have to complete at one go. So there were 4 questions in the link, and it was a Google spreadsheet. There were 4 programs, one like this, what you see on the screen, and asking like what will be the output of this program. The next was something like what you see in the screen now, and the question was like, will this code execute? And the third and fourth questions were, there was a program given, and we were asked to update there, like, are there any scope of improvement for this program? This was a sort of a big O notation question, and the final question was a program was given, and we were asked to predict the output of this program considering all the border cases in mathematics. So I could clear this round with confidence because I had a lot of experience dealing with this type of problems. Because to get through this round, I will strongly suggest using HackerRank and Project Euler and practice your programming skills every day there, at least 1 or 2 programs per day. So Project Euler and HackerRank are 2 of those platforms which will help you strengthen your some analytics knowledge, or they help you build out-of-box thinking about what can be an output of this program, or how can we approach this problem in the best systematic way. So if you want to clear this round, I definitely feel HackerRank and Euler will help you greatly. Okay, now I got a call from HR telling like I did clear the first round, and my second round was scheduled with a machine learning guy from United States. This round was vastly based on my experience in machine learning and deep learning. So what were the questions asked by him? There was one major question he asked me. That was like, hey, you are a new user to YouTube, and I want you to build an algorithm or a model which recommends videos to him. Like, he is a new user, we do not have existing data, and we need a model which shows or recommends relevant information to him. Now this is a very tricky question. Why? Because every machine learning model or any recommendation system, they recommend based on your prior history or your interest areas, and some other geographical related recommendations. So my answer to this question was like, I clearly told him this is a scenario of not enough data for predictions. So what we can do here is we can recommend him based on geographies. For example, imagine there's a new YouTube user logging in India. The first thing we can show him is we can show him something related to cricket. That's because maximum people in India are crazy about cricket. So there is a higher probability that this person will be interested in cricket. So if it works out, we are successful. Now imagine this guy turns out to be a freak or a nerd or a person who likes to view video games. This technique will fail. So what next? Now if this current technique fails, my next suggestion for him was, let's wait for a few days so that he starts searching few things on YouTube. So we get a YouTube history, right? And based on that history, we can actually identify what is this guy especially looking for. So we get an idea like, okay, he is searching for video games, then we have to start suggesting him video games. It's just a wait and watch game. The interviewer was pretty impressed with this answer. After this question, he asked me many questions regarding supported vector machines, principal component analysis, XGBoost, and where can we not use these algorithms. That was a different question. For some reason, the interviewer was really stressing on principal component analysis. Now we all know PCA is used for reducing the data from many dimension to limited number of dimensions. So this probably is a round where your prior work experience will help you, and I cannot suggest you one single site which will help you clear this round. But this round, if you want to clear this, you should have a lot of practice in machine learning and deep learning. Awesome. So same evening, the HR called me telling like, there will be a third round of interview, and had cleared the second round. And I was very happy, and I was waiting for the next round of interview in a couple of days. So Australian recruiter or the Australian interviewer connected to me via Skype for this interview, and he was just stressing on probability and statistics. Currently, we all know implementing a machine learning algorithm is a kid's play, because with the modules like TensorFlow and scikit-learn, everything has become very simple. So what is the difference between a normal machine learning engineer versus those who actually know what's going on inside when you run something like model.fit? So this guy was actually more stressing on statistics and probabilities. Few major questions I remember are, what are different types of distributions, what is a Bayesian theorem, what is conditional probability, and one thing I remember was he was asking a few questions about quartile deviations, and how do we actually read probably a scatter plot which probably has quartiles in it, Q1, Q2, Q3. He just showed me a graph and asked me like, how can you evaluate this graph, and what are the analysis you get out of it. So after all this, he asked me which is my favorite technique in machine learning. I'm very passionate about natural language processing and computer vision, and Now this is a trick, guys. You know what? The first question they will ask you is, what is your favorite thing in machine learning? Now imagine you tell robotics or you tell AI. The next question you can expect is right in that field. So yes, your passion is at one side, keep your emotions inside. Think before you answer, because if you tell robotics and AI, the next question will be fired to you is something related to deep neural network, or something related to how is robotics, what are the current trends in robotics, and this can cost you the interview. So from my experience, the best bet to clear this interview is have really good hold on statistics and probabilities. This is a bit underestimated field for new persons who are coming into machine learning and data science. We find it a little boring to study statistics and probabilities, but the reality is the whole machine learning and deep learning world is based on this foundation called statistics and mathematics. Okay, so the same evening HR called me telling like I cleared the third round, and I'm going to face the one and final last round in Google. The last round was taken by a folk from Bangalore, and this round was specially based on data structures and coding. As the main questions which were asked to me were something related to sorts, searches, and the big O notations related to binary search versus some other searches. And a code was shared to me asking like, what is the big O notation for this specific code, and how can we improve big O notation for this specific code. We know for a short definition of big O is the time taken for your program to execute, irrespective of your hardwares and the resources you have in your system. The best program is that which has very minimal big O notation, or and the execution time should be minimal. So we have a lot of this all comes with practice, and I could clear this again with the help of HackerRank and Project Euler. These helped me a lot in clearing these type of questions. Now there was a major question waiting for me after this onslaught of programming interviews. The recruiter seemed to be a geek of trees and something like binary trees and tree traversals in data structures. And unfortunately, I'm very, very weak in these data structures, because as a machine learning engineer, I rarely work on these things. And unfortunately, I brushed these things, but I couldn't recall everything. So the main questions in trees he asked were like, how can we reach this node from the shortest path? How can we traverse a tree? What are the different types of methods available there, and so on. And he asked me to write a small algorithm for a small tree traversal or reaching this node from this point. This was the final round, and I was very nervous hearing to all these questions, because the last part of trees really didn't go well, and there was a lot of tension with me, because I had tried Google a lot of times, and 2 times I had ended up in the last round, and I was a bit nervous about this one. It so happened like the HR called me the next day, and she told me like, hey, I couldn't get through the last round because the interviewer was expecting a better knowledge on data structures than what I was possessing with. Yeah, it is disappointing, but there is a lesson to learn here. Like Google will never give you another chance if you miss data structures or if you go wrong in data structures. This was my 3rd attempt in Google, and 2nd time I'm losing out in the final round. It's disappointing, but yeah, that's the life goes on, and we have to catch up on our weak areas and start preparing again. Hope this video helped some of you to get an insight on the step-by-step process of hiring a data scientist in Google. And yeah, do subscribe for more videos. I like creating fun contents.